Yeah, what's going on, Flyers fans, and welcome back to Clear the Ice, a Flyers postgame show here on the It's a Wrap Sports Network with your boy Matty B on the call. Big win tonight. Big bounce-back win in Vegas by the Flyers, 2-1 in the Travis Konecny Sam Ersson game. Yeah, who had that on their bingo card? Who had Travis Konecny scoring a shorthanded goal? So, first of all, who had Travis Konecny scoring 2 goals in the same game, a shorthanded goal, and scoring both of those goals on breakaways? And also, who had Sam Ersson playing maybe the best game of his career, not his career, but of the season, facing 25 shots and only giving up 1 goal? If you had that on your bingo card, you are tonight's winner. As the Flyers bounce back, ending the 6-game winless streak in a big way, 2-1 in the desert tonight. Good to see you again here on Clear the Ice. You might have just seen me over on Final Word. I do it all here. I wear many hats, as we all do on the It's a Wrap Sports Network. Before we get into breaking this game down, here's a little look at our schedule for the week. You're finishing your night off here with me. Tomorrow, you got a full slate of shows, 3 of them, and then 3 on Wednesday, and 2, 1, and 2. So there you go. There's our week in a glance here on the It's a Wrap Sports Network. But tonight, we're here to talk about a struggling hockey team that came out, that headed west for the week. They're going to be here tonight. Utah on Salt Lake, Utah on Wednesday, and then out in Colorado on Saturday or Friday. This is definitely not the stretch of games that you look at to say, okay, we're a struggling team that hasn't won in 6 games. Let's head out to these places and try to work this out, especially with the problems, the injuries, the defense, lack of offense, and the goaltending situation with the Flyers. This is not where you would want, but they got to go where they're supposed to, and they got to play where they're supposed to. And here they are in Vegas, and they had a huge night tonight from Ersson and Konecny, and that was really all they needed as they skate to the 2-1 victory over the Vegas Golden Knights out in the desert. Let's talk about the Flyers tonight. Let's talk about our healthy scratches, our inactives for the night for the Flyers. Nick Delorier, Nikita Gurbenkin, and Hunter McDonald, the newly recalled Hunter McDonald, taking Ristolainen's spot in the lineup. For the Vegas Golden Knights, it was Colton Sissons, Brett Howden, and Dylan Kogelin. They were the healthy scratches, or the inactives, if you will, for the Vegas Knights tonight. Sam Ersson got the call, the much maligned Sam Ersson. As we're going to get a healthy dosage of him. I guess there's nothing I can do about that. That's what happens when there is such little in the cupboard right now for the Flyers with our nursing that injury, and Alexei Kovalsov nursing whatever it is has been bothering him for 2 years. But on the night, Ersson, again, strongest performance of the season, 25 shots faced, only gave up the goal. Finishes with a .960 save percentage for the Flyers, as he, again, had the best game of 25-26. For the Golden Knights, no Carter Hart, as he's dealing with an injury. No Akira Schmidt either. So they went with Aiden Hill tonight. 17 shots faced. He gave up 2 goals with an .882 save percentage. A solid night for the youngster in goal for Vegas tonight, but it was not enough as the Flyers held on to a team that was entering play tonight. The Flyers were being outscored in their last 6 games, not to include this game, but over the last 6 games, the Flyers were outscored 36-12. A 2-1 defensive battle is not what I thought I was getting with Ersson in between the pipes tonight, but that's what we got. And let's get on to the scoring. Travis Konecny, his first of the night, his first breakaway goal of the night, his 16th of the year at the 3-4-6 mark of the first period, gave the Flyers the early lead in this one. And let's bring that goal up. Good stick work by the Flyers tonight as they were able to present opportunities or create opportunities. We're going to pick up play in the Flyers zone as a defense that has been predicated, and I like the way they're predicated. I like Rick Tockett's defensive philosophy. I like crashing down. I like protecting the goal. I would rather give you anything you wanted on the perimeter. Now, of course, Flyers goaltenders can't stop anything on the perimeter. That's been sort of the monkey in the wrench to all this. Typically, goalies can stop pucks at the perimeter. Flyers goalies can't. But I'd still rather have a collapse-style defense than anything else. But here, an aggressive forecheck creates a turnover or giveaway. I think this would be characterized as a turnover because this was a forced error here as it goes right kind of there. I'm going to give that a turnover, and that's going to spring Konechny on the breakaway as he's chugging. Don't like the head down there, but he's going to get his head up in plenty of time. Going to survey the situation. He's going to put it right between the 5-hole, and the Flyers get the 1-0 lead. Konechny's 16th of the season, giving the Flyers a 1-0 lead. Again, an aggressive forecheck, kind of going off script a little bit about the defense that they play. They play that let's crash down on the goalie type defense. Again, I'm not bagging on that. I like that defense, but they were able to spring Konechny on the breakaway to give the Flyers a 1-0 lead at that part of the first period. Joe Hale says the Flyers needed this win. They did. And again, a very uncharacteristic win by the Flyers. They got strong goaltending, strong defensive play, strong special team play. Flyers were short. Listen, they were committing penalties up and down the pike today. 7 times, to include Owen friggin' Tippett, and a decision to listen. I'm done with Tippett. I really am. Tippett is just not figuring it out. The wild ass shots. Now he's got no offense. He's not even shooting anymore. But he commits a stupid ass penalty at the end of the game. Less than a minute and a half. Tries to get the puck out of the zone, ends up flipping it into the stands, gets the 2-minute delay game, puts the Knights on essentially a 6-on-4 as they yank the goalie. Power play. Flyers held on though, but it was a uncharacteristic win from this group tonight. A tight defensive battle with good goaltending and solid friggin' defense. Offense still is what it is, but you had the other aspects of your game working tonight to kind of make up for the lack of offense. Something that we have not seen lately from the Flyers. Mike checks in, a win is a win. Yeah, win, baby. That's it. It was a big win. So Flyers with the 1-0 lead at this point, and that was all your scoring in the first period. The Flyers would end that first period being outshot drastically by the Knights, 11-4. So Erson was tested early and often in this game, and he answered the call. Let's move on to the second period where the Knights would get the equalizer at the 19:28 mark. Don't like these goals. I've told you this a million times right at the end of the period. These goals are backbreakers for you and for hockey teams, but the Flyers surrender it, and the Knights get this thing knotted up right before they head into the dressing room. Tomas Harty, his 20th on the power play from Eichel and Stone. Eichel's 40th assist. Jack Eichel's got 40 assists through about what? A little over half a season? 40 assists from Jack Eichel. Yeah. We can never have nice things here, man. Love me some Jack Eichel here. But Jack Eichel will get the 40th assist on the goal. Let's take a look at this one. This was a pretty goal, actually. This is a very pretty goal. We will pick it up here. We'll pick it up inside the, I believe it's just the, whose zone are we in here? We're going to come back out into the Flyer zone. So we're going to get a clearing, but the Knights are going to take the puck at center ice. It's going to we got a funky line. I don't know what this is. I think the Flyers are caught in between worlds here. I think they were trying to get a line change, and they realized they couldn't. So they're stacked along the blue line, which is never good. I don't like hockey that's close together like this because inevitably somebody is open. And right now you can see 2 Knights players just hanging out as the Flyers are late getting back, because I think somebody actually did do the line change. So the Flyers are late getting back into the play. Vegas is going to set up, and then we've seen this often this year, just poor communication as they're trying to set their defense. Is there something to be said there about that? I don't know, right? The rule says a distinct kicking motion. I saw him lift the stick up, or lift the skate up. I didn't see him kick it. They're going to credit in with the tip in, and that's a goal. So I'm not really going to fault Erson on this bit. It was a funky goal there, again, with the foot action. The rule says it has to be a distinct kicking motion. which that was not. That was distinct lifting your foot off the ground motion. That's a difference than a kicking motion. The goal will stand, and the Knights will tie it up at 1. So again, it's kind of, once again, we can't seem to erase all the sloppy play in one game. The Flyers are, a lot of standing around still, which never good at this level of hockey. I think they benched Michkov in the game. I saw him out earlier, Joe. I don't know what happened. Matter of fact, I'm not the best judge on Michkov anymore because I completely lost track of him. Because why? I mean, I know he was penalized early in the game for skating through the goal mouth. I didn't see him after that. So maybe that's when they benched him. I didn't see much of him after that. Matter of fact, I don't remember seeing him at all after that, after the penalty that he was assessed for skating through the goal mouth, goalie interference. I think we might have made a mistake with Michkov, folks. Yeah, I'm thinking that we made a mistake with Matt V. Sent his ass back to Russia. Anyway, the Flyers and Knights are tied at 1 at this point. And that would be all your scoring in the second period. Sorry, because that was great at the very end of the period. For the second period, the Flyers were outshot 7-6, so they closed the gap a little bit, gave Urson somewhat of a chance there. But I'm not going to fault Urson on that goal. That was a funky goal. You can make an argument that maybe there was a kick there. There wasn't much to see of a kick, but it was a deflection. It's funky. So let's go to the third period now for Travis Konechny's second goal, second breakout goal, or breakaway goal, and his shorthanded goal at the 7:22 mark of the third period. That was unassisted on this play. Flyers have now scored 4 shorthanded goals, 2 over their last 3 games now. They had 1 against Pittsburgh, and now they have 1 here tonight. So that's up to 4 now on the season. Not quite as good as it was a couple of years ago. Remember, what was it, 2 years ago? I think they finished with 13 shorthanded goals. Not quite getting to that point, but it's good to see them trying to find ways to create offense anywhere they possibly can. And let's bring this goal up for you. It's going to be very reminiscent of the first goal because it kind of happens the same way. So we're going to pick up the action right at the Flyers' entry of their zone right here as the Knights are trying to get in on the power play, but we're going to get a semi-fore check there on Owen Tippett as he harasses the player a little bit. A very badly that's a terrible pass. You never do that. It's terrible pass. Terrible stacking along the line for the Knights, and they're going to pay the price here as Konechny literally just jumps in between them, and he's off to the races again. Literally the same type of play, entering the same way. Is he going to do the same shot? Yes, he is. Right through the 5-hole. So Travis Konechny if it ain't broke, don't fix it. The same type of breakaway. He takes the same course of entry and executes the same shot as he finds 5-hole there to make it 2-1 Flyers as we were preparing now for a fantastic finish of this hockey game. And we got one that was at the 7:22 mark. And then from that point on, it was just hang on and do what you can do. Urson turned away a few opportunities. Flyers did a pretty good job, though, of keeping pressure off of Urson at that latter point of the period. Then he had the stupid penalty by Tippett at the end of the game. That creates a 6-on-4 with about a minute or so and change to go in this game. Flyers, though, hold on. A flurry of activity as time expired inside the Flyer goal mouth, but not to be done tonight as they hang on to the 2-1 win. A much-needed victory here against a very good Vegas Golden Knight team. 7-7 were your shots on goal in the third period. For the game, the Flyers were outshot 25-17. Flyers power play continues to be inept, 0 for 2 tonight, but a positive here. Now, not a positive that they were penalized 7 times, but had to face 7 shorthanded opportunities there for the Flyers. That stinks. You can't live with giving teams 7 power plays. That's not going to work. But the positive of that, a much maligned penalty kill, turns it into some positivity tonight. They did give up the 1 power play goal, but Vegas was 1 for 7 on the power play, and that's really possibly the story of this game. It was not a clean game by the Flyers in no stretch of the word, but they got a lot better play from the goaltender and a lot better team defense tonight as they were able to win this game. But To shut down the Knights on 6 of those power plays is huge for a very struggling shorthanded group, and then also to turn one of those shorthanded opportunities into a goal is like gangbuster huge for the Flyers. Flyers did take the puck away 7 times. They gave it away 13, and they blocked 11 of the Golden Knights shots tonight en route to their 2-1 victory. It will be now off to the lovely state of Utah and the Utah Mammoth, as the Flyers will face the Utah Mammoth for the first time as the Utah Mammoth. They have not seen Utah since they were known as the Hockey Club last year. Apparently, and I don't know this for sure, I've been hearing this, it ain't working out in Utah. His attendance is way down. I guess the Mormons ain't into hockey. I don't know, but they should go back to back to Arizona, man. Back to Arizona. I don't know why they left. Well, I do know, but they should go back to Arizona. Anyway, I will be with you on Wednesday night, kind of doing the same thing I'm doing tonight. I'll take you first with the final word and then into Clear the Ice on Wednesday as well. So, and Mike Laro, who just popped into the chat not too long ago, will have you on Friday night in Colorado as this Western Desert Mountain road trip continues. Let's go back inside some of these numbers. Joe Hale mentioned not seeing much of Michkov after the penalty. Well, he says he thinks he got benched. I remember not seeing much of him after the penalty. Michkov had 12 minutes on the ice tonight. So, yeah, something went down around that time. His total time on ice was 12 minutes and 3 seconds, which is pretty low for a but Zegras only had 14 minutes and 45 seconds. So, I don't know. I don't remember seeing him. Konechny did have 17 minutes of ice. Couturier, 19 minutes. Dvorak, 19 minutes. You would think that Konechny would, or that Michkov would be up there in that 15, 16 plateau as well. But, you know, we talked about Michkov a little bit in the last last Clear the Ice. I'm getting ahead of myself. Last Clear the Ice. I know it's I'm not going to sit here and tell you that 2 years into an experiment or 2 years into his career, it's not going to work out. I'm not saying that. But I am saying there's some warning flags. And there was some warning flags about this guy coming over to Russia that I think a lot of people ignored or just did not know to see because he played in Russia. I saw them. He was benched multiple times or suspended, benched multiple games, suspended multiple games for conduct detrimental to the team while he was in the KHL. He had a very selfish attitude, reportedly, in the KHL. That is one of the reasons why he fell to the Flyers, I think, at 5, 6? Where was he when he was taken that year? A lot of teams passed on the character issues. And he comes in this year, reportedly, had not touched ice since the time he got off the ice in April and had not touched the ice until he got back to training camp. That's not going to work in the National Hockey League. But, a new coach, new philosophy. John Tortorella would have probably strung him up on a flagpole out in front of the arena tonight. If he would have showed up to a John Tortorella camp that way, there would have been massive blow up in that. That would have been terrible. Terrible PR situation for the Flyers, boy. That would have been bad. But Tocchet dealt with it, and I think he's given Michkov an opportunity. Michkov just not taking that opportunity. It's been a terrible season for him. It's been a regression on all cylinders for Matvei Michkov. Am I giving up on him? No, but I thought coming out of last year that he wasn't generational. I had that kind of, and he had a pretty productive rookie season, but I didn't see generational at all in Matvei Michkov. I see a very good player, a top 3-line guy, but nothing generational. He's not Ovechkin reincarnated. No, he's not. He's going to be, if it all breaks right for him and he figures himself out, 25 goal scorer, a season guy, but that's it. He is not what we should be building the franchise around. I'll just put it to you that way. And I felt that way last year, not this year. So the Matvei Michkov drama continues. Nothing on him on the score sheet tonight as well as. But the Flyers, I guess, didn't need him as they got the 2-1 victory. Now they'll head over to Utah, play the Mammoth for the first time as the Mammoth. And I will have you Wednesday night on that call. So been a long night for me. I'm going to wrap it up tonight. Flyers win 2-1, snap the 6-game winless streak. Sam Ersson, the best effort of the season. Travis Konechny, Mr. Breakaway, 2 goals, 2 breakaway goals, and a shorty. all in one night. As obviously, if you're going to give out 3 stars, you know what? The hell with it. I'm giving Erson star number 1. He deserves it. Sam Erson deserves the first star tonight. I'll give Connecting my second star, and I get the third star. So there you have it. There's our 3 stars of the game. Until we talk again tomorrow on The Final Word and on Wednesday on this show, in the words of the late, great Gene Hart, good night and good hockey.